This is the Blue Microphone's official podcast hosted by yours truly, Tyler Barth, all the way from Blue Studios out in Westlake Village, California, where we invite our favorite artists to come out and co-host the show. Stay tuned and we'll be right back with today's special guests.
So I live every day just like it is my last. I'm always moving like I have no past. Try to just crack a smile, but what's it really for? When life just only keeps on showing me the door.
This is the Blue Microphone's official podcast out here from Westlake Village, California at Blue Microphone Studio. I'm your host, Tyler Barth, with my co-host, Vincent from FrankMusik.
Hello.
What's happening, man?
I gotta stop practicing my hellos.
No, I mean, you're just even more charming than you were, and that was tough to be.
Dude, it's good to be here. Westlake, it's a pretty part of the world.
Well, for our podcast listeners who want to know Vincent's story, we're going to tell it from the beginning, but I'm just going to fill in for the second that we went to lunch probably about 3.5 months ago.
Yeah.
And I found out that Vincent was a big Blue fan. And we were connected through a mutual friend, Ryan Singer.
Singer.
Your manager.
Yes.
And I just love the fact that you had a beautiful story and that you love Blue. So the idea was, let's get you out to Blue Microphones. Let's record some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And let's tell your story.
Dude, I can't believe I'm here.
So, here we go, folks. For the podcast listeners wanting to know who FrankMusik is, Vincent, who's FrankMusik? What is your story?
Well, it's not really that exciting, but I'm going to say it in the most exciting way possible. Okay, here we go. When I was 15, instead of buying a car, I bought a Mac G4 Quicksilver computer. That is a computer. Apparently it was a computer. And got Pro Tools on it, and it was either that or it was going to be a Toyota Supra, but then I got the Mac and I started practicing, making beats, etc. Fast forward a couple of years. When I got my first big money, that's my fun story of Blue. When I got my first big money, I went on this TV program. I'm not going to tell you what it's called because there is a video out there. And I'm beatboxing and I'm playing the piano, I'm singing at the same time. I came second in the competition. It was like a talent finding thing, but it wasn't any of the ones that we have today. And I won a bunch of money, so I bought an Avalon and I bought a Blue baby bottle microphone, and that has been my signal path ever since for every record I've ever cut. That's all I've used.
That is awesome.
It is wonderful.
There have been a couple albums some of our listeners may have heard of. We got the Ellie Goulding album that recently hit last March, I think.
Yeah, it's sold it sold over 2 million worldwide, 1.5 here now.
Oh, and you found her too, apparently.
Yeah. It's minor detail of that whole thing, which most people would like me to forget, but hey, I'm still here, guys.
And that story's not changing because it did happen.
It did.
Obviously, we have Erasure.
Yes, I like the way you pronounce that, just for me.
Just for you.
Erasure.
And then the remix album, the Lady Gaga remix album.
Yeah, whoever she is, jeez. Yeah, we
crazy.
had to
I've never
put
heard
something.
of her.
Had to put something on the list.
Yeah, we had to put something. Yeah, right, exactly. And then Far East Movement.
Yes, Far East Movement, lovely, lovely, lovely guys. They are the sweetest guys and the hardest working people I've ever met, actually.
Really?
Yeah, no, they are unbelievably hardworking. I'm glad they have each other, just to be each other's wingmen. It's pretty crazy.
That's great, and it also shows the range. I mean, these are artists sort of all over the place, and they've all come through the baby bottle, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, we just, it's one of those microphones that, for a start, one thing that's very important for me is because I travel, it's got to be a microphone that's foolhardy and can take a beating, and I'm on a baby bottle right now, and my one, like the actual chamber, if that's what it's called, is all like, the mesh is all mangled, but it still sounds great. And I've got two. I've got a brand new one from last year, and then I've got my one from 5 years ago. And you hear a marked difference, and they have wonderful differences. And what I noticed about this whole session has been you hear the differences where I haven't been able to tell the difference with other no-name competitor brands.
Yeah, competitive brands. No, and for those who obviously weren't here earlier today, like our listeners, we actually did a mic tasting for Vincent, who was completely stuck on his baby bottle. And I said, let's just try it. Let's pull out 7 mics that we have in our pro line, and let's do a blind taste test.
It was insane.
How did it go?
Well, I came in with not very expecting. I thought it was going to be like wine tasting, where you go, oh yeah, this one's like this, and oh yeah, and then really you're just like drunk, and you don't really know what anyone. They all taste the same. And so I was like not expecting to my ears, knowing how deaf I am, and the fact that my right ear stopped working when I walked in here for some reason. I didn't think I was going to hear, but then we did hear a difference, a marked difference, and with my very odd vocal, I think it helped because I've got lots of different things in my vocal which the microphones will react to differently, which you wouldn't get if it was just a nice, clean, regular pop vocal.
For sure. And for those who really want to know the mic that he came up with, it's the one I'm on right now called the Mouse. So when you hear the next 2 tracks that we play for you live from Blue Microphone Studio, Wrecking Ball and 3 Little Words, which you'll get into and tell us a little story about, they were recorded on the Mouse.
And it sounded fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. I can't take any credit, actually. but
do, on the behalf of others.
On the behalf of others who are building them on the other side of this wall, right?
Literally.
All right, so we were going back to, like, where, of course, you're from. We actually never covered that. You're from Croydon, aren't you?
Croydon. It's one of those places where when you type it on Microsoft Word, it puts a red line under it.
That's really funny. And for those who have no idea where Croydon is, including Google, where exactly is Croydon?
Croydon is in a place you may have heard of called London. It's South London. It's about 30 minutes outside the centre. It's a very big town. It should be its own city pretty much, but it's just a very bloated town. And not much happens there. It's a great place to become streetwise and just familiar with, it's a rough part of the world, and people there struggle, and it's good. I come from a balanced sort of background where money and stuff was never really around, so you made you have to put some fight in you.
Yeah, gotcha. And then we also found out that Croydon is the home of dubstep.
Yes, it was.
How was that?
Well, basically, there's a guy called Scream who did the infamous LaRue In For The Kill dubstep remix, which just blew up dubstep. And he was from, theoretically, Croydon, but he was actually from this other town called Shirley, which is much prettier and suburban. And he would not want me to be saying that, but it's true. I think pretty much a lot of dubstep came out of South London. It was kind of a weird, it just sounded like drum and bass slowed. Someone played a 45, someone played a 45 drum and bass record at 33, and someone said, "This sounds quite good."
Yeah.
So we'll just turn it into a genre of music.
And that just feeds this whole electronic music movement, which is just all over the place right now.
Being a music producer and hearing, and I'm sorry kids out there, people who are old sticklers like me at 26 would say that when you start calling dance music EDM, you need to go away and have a serious conversation with yourself about the meaning of life. Because when you start abbreviating something as nonsensical as dance music to EDM, then there is something very wrong with this world.
And I will say this is the first time I'm hearing EDM. So this is...
Oh, right. Okay, you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's a bit like saying ATM machine. The M has already been said in the machine it should just be, it's not ATM machine, it should just be AT machine. So it's like EDM. Well, dance music, you don't need E.
Right.
Well, you do. But no, but you don't need, you need the E electronic because it's dance music. It's going to be electronic. So what's the point?
Got it.
Right.
Go figure. And then, of course, I'm now going to go back to that amazing Ellie Goulding album, which really mixed the elements and pushed the envelope for its time, no doubt.
That was what we're going for. Ellie came to me with this kind of singer-songwriter stuff, like very kind of just her and a guitar and this incredible voice. And, I said, well, this is my first A&R-ing producer experience. I wasn't just making beats anymore. I was saying, well, this artist, what is she going to become? So that's really an A&R job. And so this is when she wasn't signed, and I was like, well, the only way you're going to stick out is by doing a record that's produced in a way that sounds unique. So we said let's just take these elements that are sort of quirky dance music, not Bjork, not serious, but just quirky, fun. And then look, I mean, you've got like Owl City that came out and did sort of very similar thing. I mean, it sounds more leaning towards Postal Service, but just the folky vocal with all this kind of jingly jangly electronic stuff, but not hard, which is, I think, is where she's going now. She is dating Skrillex.
Oh,
the dubstep
Sonny
king. Yes,
yes,
indeed.
Great.
So they're making some fun stuff right now.
Also is a blue artist.
Fantastic.
And uses all of our USB mics on the road.
And a fantastic guy.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah.
You would never know that I guess they posted all those figures that like he was worth $8 million, and clearly that happened in the last, 14 months?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty rad.
In fact, I remember, quick story, I was at Lollapalooza last year, and I remember when Sonny came through the lounge, and like nobody really recognized him, even though he's very recognizable.
Yes, indeed.
But nobody really knew Skrillex and connected the dots. And I remember him coming by, and he was just really cool. And like, I knew who he was because it's my job to. But like, very unassuming and one of the nicest, coolest guys. And Chris Morris, who's a good friend of mine, works with him over at Atlantic. So
when good people do good, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's exceptionally talented. The fact that he went and transcended from like the music he was making prior to dubstep to then just owning a whole new genre, like in its infancy, fantastic. And more power to him, in my opinion.
Exactly. So let's get back on track for Vincent.
Yes.
And let's talk about the move from Croydon over the Atlantic Ocean to the United States of America.
It's pretty much the same thing, apart from you've got sunny weather, not free healthcare, and that's about it. Oh, no, how could I forget Chick-fil-A? Sorry, needed to remember that. There was a Chick-fil-A that I forgot about on La Brea and Sunset. Amazing. Yeah, so it's, I had a partial success in the UK, but I didn't want to sit on my laurels. And so I was like, right, when the going gets tough, run away. And so I just left. I up sticks, moved here with nothing, with the clothes on my back. And I just moved to downtown LA, and then I started working with Martin Kirzenbaum, who used to work at Interscope, and we put a record out, and it was fun. It's not very often that you just move to a new country and then immediately start working with the guy that signed Lady Gaga. And you know what? For whatever happened, it was worth it. I had a great time, and I learned so much from people like Far East Movement. I thought I worked hard. And then I saw how these other people were working, militant schedules. It's incredible.
Very interesting. That's the first I've heard of that Far East Movement, those guys working as hard as they do. I've had the pleasure of meeting them at NAMM, and then the Stereotypes guys who work very closely with them. But that's great to know.
Oh, yeah. And, the crazy thing is they do it in every territory. What we see generally is a snapshot of people's careers, which is the Western market. But I mean, no one likes to point out the massive elephant in the room, which is they are all Asian. And they did a very good job of not making them like themselves. We're the first Asian brand to break America. They didn't make that into a thing, which is fantastic. But I mean, they make a killing elsewhere outside of the US,
sure.
which is awesome for them.
All right, so let's dig into the music. You recorded 2 awesome tracks today, Blue.
Thank you.
On our mouse, of course.
Yes.
I've never plugged our mics so much, but I know that I can get away with it because you are such a big Blue fan.
Yeah, no, that's it. I totally agree. I would be doing more of the plugging, but you're... We are.
I'm just going to stop talking because I've been driving the story of Vincent, and all we've done is talk about other artists in our microphones.
But that kind of makes me who I am, I've realized. This year, I kind of took a step back, and I was like, look, however much I enjoy the ego of being the guy, and there's nothing, and we spoke about this over lunch earlier, which is there's nothing more fun than helping other people's careers come to fruition. I don't benefit anyone if all I'm doing is helping myself. I benefit a lot more when other people can come to me and then I can get them out the door. That's fantastic.
Well articulated. I totally agree with that. And for all those that are listening in the producing world and nurturing talent and believing in the way that you approach music. I think that's some great advice.
Stick to it.
So Wrecking Ball. Let's talk about Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball. If anyone who is very, very bored and is near YouTube on the internet, you should check out. There is a very fun video that was made for this before I parted company with my UK label. I don't know who made it, but it's a really fun video of these two wrecking balls, like literally the balls that smash buildings to pieces. Animated cartoon of two wrecking balls falling in love with each other and then having a fight and stuff. And then I'm not going to ruin the end for you, but it's a genius ending, and it was from my last album that I released here in the US. And it's just a fun little pop ditty number, but I did a much more emotive version for you.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. But before we get to it, can we find a link on your website to this actual video itself?
No, I don't actually have a website right now.
Well, your Facebook.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get the link, and then maybe we'll put it up with the interweb.
Beautiful.
That was amazing.
So on Facebook right now, Vincent, if people want to go out and find your latest and greatest, especially the EP that I have that we'll get to, they can go to
facebook.com/FrankMusik. Hopefully something will be there.
There is.
Good.
And let's spell this correctly. It's
the German spelling.
Yeah, it is the German spelling. And for those who don't know the German spelling, it's FrankMusik
Exactly.
Which I believe is right. I think there's a UK.
There's a FrankMusik UK. Okay.
And if it's not, they'll tell me right now because they're going to check in the other
Just
room.
Google search it. It's
just
fine.
FrankMusik. There's not a lot of their FrankMusiks out there.
There isn't actually. There was one who attempted to be a FrankMusik, and then I acquired him. Let's just say that.
We negotiated.
Yes.
Brilliant. So here we have it from Blue Microphone Studio, the track Wrecking Ball, and it is off Do It in the AM, and that's available on iTunes. Check it out, guys. Here you have it.
Baby, you let me down. I'm closing the door. I can bear to see your sweet eyes anymore. Now every second that I stay, I'm sinking further in to your clever little games and the heartache that they bring. Don't you know by now when I scream out loud that I'm done with you and the things you do? I can't run or hide from your love or lies. Can I win or war when you're changing sides? Every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with your wrecking ball heart, baby, tear it apart. It's like every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with your wrecking ball heart, baby, tear it all apart. I'm picking up parts of me scattered on the floor. Reckless love is strong, but I wish my soul was more. Terrified and scared to death, I'm searching for a way to keep you more in check. And what I gotta say, don't you know by now that I scream out loud and I'm done with you and the things you do. I can't run or hide from your love. How lies can I win? Oh, when you're changing sides. Every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with your wrecking ball. Oh, baby, tear it apart. It's like every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with your wrecking ball. Oh, baby, just tear it apart. So, baby, you're my secret lover, and now I'm taking cover. Baby, you are like no other, wrecking all of us. Baby, now I'm taking cover. You're my destructive lover. Baby, you are like no other, wrecking all of us. You're wrecking all of us. us all with the wrecking ball. Oh, buddy up, bum, ba-da. Buddy up, bum, ba-da-da-da-da. And buddy up, bum, ba-da. Don't you know by now, when I scream out loud that I'm done with you and those things you do, I can't run or hide from your love or lies. Can I win or war when you're changing sides? Every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with your wrecking ball heart, baby, tear it apart. It's like every time you tear me down, down, tear me down, down with that wrecking ball heart, baby, just tear it apart.
I got to tell you something. That's a beautiful track, and the fact that you pointed out the Wrecking Ball music video, I've got to go watch that.
Yeah, we should do that.
We should go do that right now. All right, so we kicked out Wrecking Ball. Great track. It's under FrankMusik on iTunes. Do It in the AM is the EP that it's off of, or is that a full album?
There's a full album, yeah. We had some of the Cherry Tree roster do some features, have Far East Movement on the record, which was fun. We had a lady called Natalia Kills who was on it, and another girl called Colette. Which it was just as fun, you know. When I was working there, it was just an experience, just to be able to get out of my own comfort zone of very bourgeois European London electronica, and then go into, I'm in America, I'm making pop music, yeah. Let's
you said
go.
that very well. Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, so the next track you did, Three Little Words.
Yes.
Let's talk about that one.
Where
Where did you write that?
So Three Little Words was a song that I wrote about a girl who I wrote my whole first album about, and yeah, it was just it was during a time when I thought when I was falling in love with people, but in like the kind of head over heels way, whereas like now love to me is like, yes, love is a long term, you know, it's boring stuff, as well as the oh my god I'm in love, but that was just me during the oh my god I'm in love bit. And yeah, it was fun. It's great for the songwriting, terrible for the anxiety, and yeah, it was off the first record, it was the first single, and it was a lot of fun.
Let's play it. From Blue Microphone Studio, here you have it, Three Little Words.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah. And all you want from me are three little words, but you just get me laughing, quite absurd. And I know I'm with you now, but this all might end. So just save all the I love yous, and let's not pretend when you won't hear it now and you won't hear it then. And I hope you know the three words that begin with three words always, and I love you, know. And you can be a little forlorn, 'cause I know what you need, yeah, but that really doesn't mean you get it from me. Hey, lying to yourself, it doesn't make it easier. So save us both the time. Let's be together, we'll be fine. say bye. You won't hear it now, and you won't hear it then. And I love you, no. The three words that begin were three words always end. And I love you, no. And you won't hear it now, and you won't hear it then. The three words that begin with three words always end.
All right, we are back. Fantastic track.
Thank you.
Again, making the mic sound good, but more importantly, just lighting up the studio, and that's why we have it. So it's always nice to have you out and
Thank you.
and make the magic happen here at Blue.
Anytime.
Beautiful.
I'll be
so
your
that
session
track,
player.
yes, please. Well, just we can put a bed in here, and actually a bed in here would make the mics. There would even be better sound acoustic
Yeah,
treatment.
yeah. And a body on the bed would be me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Right,
Fantastic. All right, and that actually is off Complete Me, which is your debut album from a couple
Correct.
years ago, and that's available in the UK, or you can get it here on Amazon.
Yeah, it was never physically released here, but there's copies flying around. Not literally flying.
I was gonna say that's pretty cool.
Via the internet, anything is possible.
That's true. That's true. It's crazy that way. All right, let's dig into some recorded tracks that you did in the studio on your own.
Oh, yeah.
Not here at Blue.
Nope.
I'm gonna just open this one up because it's my favorite song. When you came out a couple months ago, and we went to lunch, you left me with a 7-song EP.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of the most fun EPs I've been listening to over the last couple months.
Thanks, man.
The track that sticks out that I absolutely adore is Somebody,
Yeah.
featuring Jay White, and there's a cool story about that.
Yeah,
so hit me up with that
When we
story.
were listening to it in the studio, I completely forgot, but until I listened, I was like, oh yeah, Jay White, the guy that I met outside my studio while I was having a cigarette, and I just said, do you rap? And are you a rapper? And he was like, firstly he looked at me like, was I being rude? And then he was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, great, come up to my studio and cut on this track. But I wrote one lyric for him. He wrote this wonderful lyric, but then I wrote, people say I'm wise, now I'm in the studio with VDI, which is the name that I produced the song on, which is Vincent did it. And so that was my only claim to ever rapping in ghostwriting. And I've never seen him again.
It's crazy.
I know, just came in, did a feature, and then
Disappeared.
sayonara.
Maybe he's on his way to Croydon right now. You guys
Yeah,
are swapping places.
making a rap record in Croydon. With Screw
All right, let's play it. So off the album, Vincent Did It. Here you have it. The track is Somebody featuring Jay White. Wherever you are, Jay. All right.
It's so
Ready?
true.
That, folks, is available on iTunes. I encourage you to go download it right now. It's fun. Everybody likes it. Easy on the ears and makes you want to get up and dance.
Don't play it at work though, because it's got swearing in it.
Well, why shouldn't I play it at work?
NSFW. Is that what they say on the internet? Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. I like that. That was very thoughtful.
There we go.
All right, the second track we want to highlight is actually a track that you produced.
Yes.
And you actually star in the music video.
In a
tell us
white
a little
suit.
story. Yeah, tell us a little story about Quigley and the track Inklot Game.
Okay, so Inklot Game, it was all inspired by my fiance's sister's artwork, which was this wonderful postcard. She lives in San Francisco. She's an artist, and she does these wonderful sort of paintings of things. And this one was like an inkblot thing, I've forgotten the name of the psychologist. His name has escaped my head, but it's a guy who used to put the inkblot cards up and tell me what you see things. It's like Schrader's thing or something. I don't know, something Germany, and so basically it had an inkblot thing, and then under it said "I only see you," which is fantastic. It was like a really good play on the whole Inklot Game thing. And so she wrote a whole song about it, and then we shot a video for it with her friend, just a simple Canon 5D camera. And freezing our little butts off because it was Minnesota during winter, and it was like 3 feet of snow, and we're just dying out there with like no any luxury stuff anywhere to be seen. It was fun though.
I love that. And having just seen the video, 20 minutes ago, it's beautifully shot, and
She's got a good eye. That's why she likes me.
Exactly, right? Great minds think alike. You guys complement each other greatly.
There we go.
She is very beautiful and has an incredible voice. So we're about to play that for our listeners. All right, here you have Quigley, the track Inklot Game.
And I can tell what's on my conscious mind. Oh, tell me, am I lost or left behind? I keep looking for answers I can't find. You put me out to sea, but I'm blind, and you are gone, but you're drowning me, you're drowning me. Because of you, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. An Inklot game. I think these tests are true because I only see you, I only see you. And what is trying is not always designed. I always thought we would be twine. I keep looking for stars to come align, but baby, all I see is undefined. Oh, and you are gone, but you're drowning me, you're drowning me. Because of you, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. Oh, you have taken part of me, you're a part of me. No, I'm not the same. Oh, we're living in an Inklot game, an Inklot game. I think these tests are true because I only see you, I only see you.
Quigley, wow. So you produced that track where?
Right, so there's a pretty good story. It was a combination of London, LA, and Minnesota. So I did mainly. I mean, she wrote the song in Minnesota like a year or so ago, and then I came in and did all the production for it. Did some of it on tour when I was touring with Erasure, and then we recorded the lead vocals again in LA. Then we went to Minnesota, and where we didn't have all the backing vocal stuff. And so I was like, well, we need some backing vocals, but we don't have a microphone. So I went to Guitar Center and I picked up the Spark, the smallest microphone in the biggest box. And that box has come in so handy. I've used it for so many things. It's been amazing, actually. Anyway, so we did all the backing vocal stuff on that little monster.
That little monster, that little blue monster, that is actually orange.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man.
You have a blue one, right?
We do have a blue one.
Right.
It was a Guitar Center special.
That's good.
Last year.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I get an orange one?
Diving into the next part of
Yes.
our podcast as we truck along.
Indeed.
Well, you have a fascinating story, so I don't mind taking our time with this. And for our podcast listeners, the best is yet to come. I mean, there's more story to be told, and you know, Vincent's making a lot of great music these days, so we're going to get to that after this part of the podcast. So, I've asked Vincent to pick out a song that he's very fond of, that either, like I say in all the podcasts, it either comes from something you heard early on that inspired you, or just something that you totally love or dig. So what's the song?
So this is it's called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and it's a theme music for a film called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and it's kind of good because it's got musical connotations and cinematic things. So it's got David Bowie in it, or David Bowie, depending on where you're from, and he's one of the actors in it. It's about prisoner of war camp, and the film resonated with me just because the whole Vietnam thing. I mean, one of my favorite films is Deer Hunter. So, like, yeah, I mean, so it was like a kind of a spin-off of that. But the theme music was incredible. And it had this very kind of... The general who was in charge of the prisoner of war camp, you just get this constant feeling that, like, he's, like, the most closeted gay ever. And, like, the internal frustrations and conflicts he had with it were just insane. And I've never seen anyone pull off that electricity with that subject matter before. So that was fantastic. The music is stunning. Doing some incredible production tweaks and tricks. In 1983, they made this. So it was... To me, I mean, like, everyone was like bobbing their heads in the studio to it like it was a dubstep track or something. It's kind of got that throbbing, heartbeat, slowness. I love it. It's great.
Beautiful. All right, let's play it then. So here you have the track from Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. It's the theme music by Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Very eclectic mix of stuff we're talking about
Yeah,
today.
it really is a very eclectic mix of stuff that we are talking about today. In fact, I always find myself, we've done such a hop, skip, and a jump amongst the last 5 podcasts. One was at midnight, one was a guy and 2 girls, one was this like rock star violin player.
Wow.
And it's just been so all over the place. It's really fun for me. And I think it's really fun for our listeners too,
totally.
who do email me and tell me, you know, either that I'm totally an idiot or that it was pretty brilliant. They're like, Tyler, stop babbling. Anyway, so now we go to the house pick, and for those who tune into the podcast regularly, I like to pick something contemporary, something I've recently heard, and something I think will fit with the podcast and the artist that I'm of course, interviewing. And that is this group. They're actually from the north of East London, or north of East England. It's called Stockton-on-Tees. Are you familiar?
I was close.
You were close.
I said north. Yeah, I'm shocked. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I was impressed just from hearing a sung vocal that I could pick up the accent, and I said,
"You did actually say that
from
earlier."
Up to north.
And I was so excited to even bring up the band's name, which is actually Young Rebel Set. We should probably introduce who they are before where they're from, of course. But yeah, you did pick that out in the vocal. That's pretty good.
Where they're from, the name's even better. What's the name again?
Stockton-on-Tees.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy,
England.
right? England, yeah. I know. Oh, man. All right, well, so I ended up downloading the entire album last night and have listened to it now twice because I have a nice long drive. And so the song that really stood out to me was actually track 6, and it was called Red Bricks. And, of course, I listened to it and wasn't really paying attention to the words. And then we listened to it in the studio, and Vincent told me that it's about a prostitute.
Yes.
and it makes a lot more sense now to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
So here we have it from their debut album called Curse Our Love. The track, Red Bricks. The artist, Young Rebel said.
Lift your head up, darling, and look around you, and try and see the beauty in what surrounds you. 'Cause maybe your dreams are just not that far away, and who am I to be telling you to stay? So take your running shoes and just throw them away, and find a pair that fits you and just will you to stay. 'Cause your heels are so warm from running from the past, and shoes like those are never built to last. So you can call red bricks and quietly slip away into the night again if that's where you wish to stay. So go and call red bricks and quietly run away into the night again if that's where you wish to stay. And I will never blame you no matter what you think, 'cause you always had forewarned that this ship could sink down into the depths of what I just don't understand. So this punishment was not dealt by your hands. So I may call red bricks and let you slip away into the night again if that's where your heart does lay. So I may call red bricks and I'll let you run away into the night again if that's where your heart does lay. And as all of this should fall upon my head, I'm so glad I met you when you fell into my bed. 'Cause this is far better than never knowing you instead. Your time away, I hope that you find your better day. So go and call it bricks, but listen when I say that this is your life, you must live your own way. So go and call red bricks, but listen when I say that this is your life, you must live it your own way.
Kind of a Mumford and Sons-ish type song where it builds.
Love it. The tension's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is.
Because you get 16 bars of tension, and then little release, and then tension. It's good, and then it's amped every time. I like
and it
tracks
takes,
like that.
and you really need to know the craft to be able to build a song like that. I mean,
You need to. I'd love to know who produced that. I'm sure it's someone who's got a few years on me, because that takes maturity and a lot of musical knowledge to do that.
yeah. Well, I will say this: I listened to the whole 11-song album. I can say album, 11 songs. This does not happen every day, and the album is fantastic. It's just very different. We listened to a few of the tracks, and it's all over the place.
Yes.
And I mean that in a good way. It's a full-on voyage.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's a band that it's actually really nice when a band is still in that phase, because if you're just a band that have got a sound, then you're immediately limiting your ability for new fan base anyway, because you're going to get a limited demographic. But then when you're at that stage, it's like there's something in there for everyone. It's like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I like
Box
that.
of chocolates.
Box of chocolates. All right, so now we covered this part of the podcast. What's next? What's next for, Vince? What's next for FrankMusik?
Should we just get Ryan
What's
in?
next for Quigley? No, but I mean, just
Right.
over the next 3 months.
Okay.
What's some of the stuff that we can look forward
don't
to?
know how much
And by the way, before you answer that, I've been told that the Facebook URL is just FrankMusik, FrankMusik.
Awesome.
So there's no like UK or anything like
Nope.
that. It's just FrankMusik.
There we are. Well,
followed
UK
by
is
Facebook.com.
is in FrankMusik, but you just got to look.
That's true. That is true also. And then you also mentioned that there's a URL with all of your music on
If
it.
you want to find literally everything I've ever made, there's a website. It's a Russian website. It's www.vk.com/O as in OH _ drunk dash FrankMusik. So O _ FrankMusik. And everything, it's completely illegal, but it's good. I think when, as a producer, and I've got like nearly 200 tracks, it's a great place. I mean, I was on there, I was like, oh, I completely forgot I did that. Awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's
Sort of
cool.
like the unofficial manager in Russia.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Someone out there in Russia is repping it big.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The whole catalog.
I'm happy with that.
I celebrate the entire FrankMusik catalog.
Yeah, who needs a publisher?
All right, so now we can go back. This podcast is all over the place. Who gives the what about structure? All right, so now what's up? I mean, I know that
Okay.
you know that now Blue is your second home, so you can always use this as a second studio or creative space. But beyond that, anything really exciting? You working with Quigley on some things?
So yeah, I mean, so I'm working with this exceptionally talented woman called Katrina. Katrina is going on tour with Meatloaf I think in like 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And she's going to be doing the East Coast tour with him opening, and that's going to be great. So we've been writing for the past few weeks. Fantastic singer, absolutely remarkable. She's got a new single coming out soon, which is sounding awesome. I'll tell you a story about that later. Just trying to cram here. Working with this unbelievably talented rapper called SRH from Montreal, Canada. And he is a fantastic artist, like really wholesome, not bothered about fashion trends in rap music. He does what he feels, and that really comes across, and it's very refreshing. Let's just say no swag is ever coming up in any of the songs. And then I'm doing Quigley's record at the moment. That's coming along nicely. I'm going to be doing my own new record at some point, hopefully. And then I've also got what have I got? I got someone else that's this Japanese guy called Kento I'm producing for, who's fantastic, and we're just getting some really cool stuff together. So yes, busy. And then I want to try and score a film at some point in the next year. That would be dream come true.
What kind? Drama?
Indie film.
Just indie?
Yeah, something
dark?
that lets me just get really... So I would want to be directly involved with the director and everything like that, and I wouldn't want to be involved in a film where they were using any songs that had already been made and released.
Right.
I just want the whole soundtrack would be custom made for the film. That would be epic.
Well, for all of our filmmakers that are listening right now,
I would
just reach out and
I'd do it for
touch
practically
someone.
free.
Yeah, right? Well, that's
Next to
great,
free.
man. Well, I'll keep my eyes and ears open too, and I know Ryan will, and probably already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Rad.
So, were you going to touch on another story, or should we close this down and get you
I
back
think-
out of here for another podcast one of
I
these
think
days?
I gotta save some stories.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And there's
You've
a
been-
lot of stories.
You've been a fantastic host, and thank you for lunch. Twice now, I owe you. And yeah, Blue Microphones is as someone who started their career 10 years ago, and then to actually be in the building, it's to someone like me who has a lot of love for the tech stuff. Yeah, fantastic.
You are
Dream
very
come true.
welcome, and you're not over. It's not done yet. I have one final question.
Okay.
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 So I was just going to say thank you, Vincent, for coming out, and then I realized I've been asked by several, who is FrankMusik? How do you get that name?
Right.
Because obviously I'm sure there's been a lot of people that have come up to you and been like, hey, Frank. And
All
you're
the
like,
time.
yeah, no.
All the time.
So How does that come to be?
Okay, so it's a very simple story. A few years ago, I think it was 2007, my grandfather passed away. He was called Frank, but his actual name was James, but everyone called him Frank. And so it was my first family death I experienced, and so it was a big impact on me. I got a tiny family anyway. So I said, well, this is going to be a surefire way of me remembering that we don't live forever. And so FrankMusik is an ode to my grandfather, who was an amazing man. And it's just, I feel like he wasn't ever here to see the success as it came into fruition, but he lives on through the name.
It's beautiful. And a great way to cap off our podcast. Vincent, thank you for coming out, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Yes, you will.
You
All
can
right,
go
man.
to hell.